let's see this last fight. We got Izzy, the former like two-time champion, versus
Yep.
Dricus, the champion who beat Sean Strickland, and Sean Strickland beat Izzy. So that was so this fight makes a lot of sense. But I guess you can't really do MMA math most of the time. So, but who do you guys have winning this fight, or what do you expect to happen in this fight?
I'm gonna let Marco
I
go
got
first.
I got the King of Africa, Duplexis winning. He
You mean the white guy?
yeah.
Two African brothers fighting. Come
uh,
Nah, he's
I
Chinese.
on.
that is true. He definitely claimed a few other places before claiming where he's at now. But I got Duplexis. He really surprised me. I remember watching his first couple fights against gosh, I can't think of his name right now. The guy
I'll pull it up.
Darren Till. Darren
Yeah, I
Till.
think you're right. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
one of them.
He just came out there. Well, all his fights before Darren Till, he just went out there and just was crazy. He just pushed the gas. He would gas out instantly, and he was just getting away. I felt like with strength, and I didn't see like the most technique, but he kept winning. And then apparently he couldn't breathe through his nose ever, and he got the surgery. And then he went out and put on a whooping on Robert Whitaker, and I was like, this is insane. And so I definitely got Duplexis. Ever since that fight, he put himself on the map for me. He's a freak athlete too. He's so massive for this weight class. It's hard to tell sometimes, but he's huge and it's insane.
Yeah, that was spot on, dude. That's exactly how I saw his fights. Like, bro went out there, he gave it a good solid 5 minutes, and that's it. And then he was just on the legs, just riding it out for the remainder of the fight. It was so funny.
Shout
Like,
out to
it was the
Doctor
same
Miami
thing.
though.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
nose with surgery definitely changed. Like looks completely different than when he first entered. But Mondo, how do you see this fight going?
Dude, I think I'm gonna agree with Marco, man. Uh, yeah, dude, I don't see how Adesanya could beat him unless he's a black belt now or something. But I doubt it. If Bobby Knuckles couldn't beat him, I don't think so, man.
Right. Yeah, Izzy's always gonna be a legend, but he's been a champ for a long time. He probably already has all the money. I mean, he doesn't really need another. I don't know if he has that drive anymore to be the best.
Yeah. So it's funny, like, so you know how they say you're only as good as your last fight, right?
Right.
So he's like the king of just taking that and throwing it out, because it's just like he'll have like really shitty performances, and then like a fight or two later he'll have like a crazy fight or a crazy knockout. And so I'm with you guys on that. Like, he does, after his last performance, it does not look like he's improving. It's not looking like he
Mhm.
really wants to scrap. He looks like he's just trying to get by with taking very little damage and trying to win decisions, which he's done in the past quite a few times. But I think he comes out the gate firing, and he goes toe to toe with Dricus Du Plessis. He's taken so much time off, and he's seen, you know, he saw the Sean versus Dracus fight. He's seen all the middleweight fights, and I was a big Izzy fan, but it slowly went off after I saw him fight like a few boring fights. I was like, all right, this guy, he was, they brought a lot of hype, but I feel like Alex Pereira is what Izzy should have been, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
But yeah, but I don't know. I think, Africa versus Africa, he's coming off a loss. Um, he's so used to being a champion, and DDP is not. Because I think a lot of fighters say, like, becoming a champion is one thing, but to defend your title is a completely different thing. So we'll have to see if DDP can live up to the expectations of being a champion, because Izzy's been there, done that. So I think if this goes to decision, we might see a sneaky win by Izzy. But he can't fight like he did against Sean. If he fights like that, It's gonna be a long. It's gonna be a long night for Izzy because DDP is gonna be all over him, just throwing. His DDP's got really good striking. I think he was a former kickboxer, and then he's also got really good wrestling because he's so fucking big, man. Like he's huge for
Yeah.
that weight class. So I think we see DDP trying to use that size advantage and trying to grapple Izzy, and then also seeing a lot of that bull rushing that he does and not allowing Izzy to get comfortable. So that's why I see Izzy trying to go toe to toe with him and fighting him kind of like he did when he got that Robert Whitaker knockout, where he kind of stays in the pocket and throws those like lean back left hooks. I think we're gonna see a lot of that, and kind of like the Alex Pereira finish where he kind of throws everything from inside, but he throws it wide, which is like kind of why he leans back almost. So I don't know. I think if I had to pick a favorite, it'd probably be DDP. But if I was gonna see an upset victory by like a close decision, I think I gotta pick Izzy. If it's like a unanimous
I
decision,
get.
I'm going with DDP.
I guess I do. I do have
Yeah.
a question about the main event. Do you guys think it's gonna be an exciting fight, or do you think it's gonna be like a 5 round boring type of decision fight between these two guys?
I think Duplessis is gonna make it exciting because that's just in his
I think
nature,
so.
right? I think Izzy, he's gonna go. He's gonna try to fight him like he fought. What's his name? The Brazilian guy.
Alex Pereira.
Pereira,
No, the other Brazilian guy that is here training
Costa.
with Henry. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Costa, right?
Paulo Costa.
Because Izzy, on I hate to say it, but he's not really been improving. I think like because everybody says that he's the best kickboxer in MMA or whatever, he's been complacent, and he really only knows how to fight going back. And like when he fought Yoel Romero, you could kind of see that because if you just stand there, Izzy doesn't know what to do, right? He's always trying to counter your moves or whatever. So he never really built that pressure fighting style, kind of like Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland is really good at going back and pressing
Hmm.
forward and doing it simultaneously. So I just don't think that Izzy has the power to for DDP to respect him. And I think when
Hmm.
he leans back, I think DDP is gonna catch Izzy like he was catching Whitaker over the top. If I was gonna if if I'm gonna like give my prediction of how it's gonna go sequence by
Hmm.
sequence, that's what I think I would say that would happen. Is Duplessis has a chin. I don't and Izzy doesn't have one punch knockout power, even though he knocked out Pereira that one time. I still don't
Hmm.
think he has one punch knockout power.
I think so. Yeah, it is tricky. He doesn't really have like um, that brute force power, but he when he does get knockouts, it's because he lands like that perfect flush punch. So I think unless he lands enough of those, yeah, the striking is not going to look good for Izzy. But I mean,
Well,
just go ahead.
I was gonna say the key is to land it while not being landed on you, right? But like Costa, he was just trying to, he was, for lack of a better term, he was trying to outpoint him, like how you outbox someone while pushing forward. But
Hmm.
DDP, he doesn't really care about getting punched. He takes one to give one. You know, he has that type of mentality, and he has like brute force. And I could also see him like taking him down, kind of like how Blahovic took him down and kind of bullying him on the ground.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think so. I think Izzy's got. I was looking at his record. I was like, Jesus, he's fought for a title in a title fight for like his last 11 fights, which is I don't think like any active fighter has had that many besides John Jones. But that's insane. But yeah, I think the only way Izzy wins this fight is if Drakus like messes up his game plan. Where I feel like he's gonna be trying to grapple him and try to wear on Izzy,
Hmm.
but I feel like low key that could be one thing that could hurt him because I don't think is gonna get tired. But I feel like if Drakus has kind of like that adrenaline rush and tries to like go too aggressive on the grappling, I feel like in the later rounds he could maybe be a little bit too tired. because we saw Sean pick it up in that fifth round, and he won that round against DDP, and DDP went hard for 3 rounds before that. So we're gonna have to see if DDP has the right game plan. Because I feel like if that's the only thing that could hurt DDP, because I feel like if DDP just fights, like he fights all of his other fights, and doesn't try to do anything too, too over strategic, I think he'll win in every department. It's just whether or not he has the experience and can manage the 5 rounds versus a guy that's been there in 5 rounds like several times, and he's won almost all the decisions besides the Sean one.
Yeah, right.
And
Izzy is like
that
a master.
Yeah.
Yeah, Izzy is like a master of like winning in a 5 round fight. But then you saw him against Sean, and you saw how Sean he kind of blew that out of the water with the
Yeah.
composure and the jab. And
Mhm.
if you went 5 rounds with someone that was more I guess how could you say it, more patient, right? That's Izzy's game plan, to be patient so he can counter you on the back as you're coming in using his reach advantage, because he's super tall and he
Yeah.
has an 80-inch reach advantage. But if Drikas could kind of stay patient and kind of feint going in for a takedown, but go high and go low, kind of keeping guessing, I think that's what's
Yeah.
gonna win him the fight. And
You do.
he's pretty good at that. That's his bread and butter.
Yeah, you do bring up a good point with that Sean fight. Like, the reason why I think Sean had so much success is because he's not always there. He's not really there to be countered. He's so focused on his defense when he strikes. So Izzy really couldn't get much off. But when you see DDP fight, he kind of bull rushes, and like he likes to get in there and charge forward. So that could be another area where Izzy could have a lot more success in the striking compared to the Sean Strickland fight. But DDP is smart when he goes in too. He's not going in like like just fully out, hands down. He's always throwing a lot of heavy shots behind it. So you can't really just stand there and try to counter. You have to move with him. But I mean, Izzy's pretty good moving laterally, moving backwards, and throwing strikes. So the more that I think about this fight, and the more we talk about it, the more I see this being maybe a closer fight than some people might see it.
Yeah, because like you said, I think the only way Izzy wins is a decision over the 5 rounds with his length and kind of just countering. But the way to counter that is by feinting your wrestling to your strikes or vice versa, which is DDP's bread and butter. So, and so they both have openings in some domains. It's just it's gonna whoever like implements it better, you know, it's gonna win essentially.
True.
Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the podcast, please like, share, and subscribe.
Also, check us out on Instagram at P4P Combat Sports Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.